Token D Rock here with another stream. It is Friday, December 2nd, 9:15 a.m. We're talking about UK Prime Minister cracking down on protests, central banks growing fearful of Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is sitting just under 17,000. Overall crypto market cap sitting at 853 billion. Bitcoin dominance 38.1%. ETH dominance 18.4%. Can see that price has not moved a whole lot here in the past 24 hours. ETH sitting at 1282, Binance Coin at 290, Dogecoin at just under 10 cents, Cardano at 31.7 cents, Polygon just at 92 cents, Chainlink at 761, Cosmos 1023. Taking a look at the stock market, we are down roughly 0.62% since the market opened just about 46 minutes ago, down 214.29 points. This is coming after data regarding unemployment numbers. U.S. job growth likely slowed again in November. Labor market still tight. So let's read through this. U.S. job growth is likely the smallest in 2 years in November as mounting worries of a recession cooled demand for labor, which could give the Federal Reserve confidence to start slowing the pace of interest rate hikes this month. Labor departments closely watched unemployment report on Friday, which is also expected to show continued moderation in wage gains last month, following the heels of news on Thursday of a slowdown in inflation in October. The labor market remains tight with 1.7 job openings for every unemployed person in October, keeping the Fed on its monetary tightening path at least through the first half of 2023. Labor market strength is also one of the reasons economists believe and anticipate a recession next year would be short and shallow. It's kind of like it's good news, but not great news. The labor market is still very strong. It's still very tight, said U.S. economist Agran Nikaj at FUMUFG in New York. The Fed might slow down the pace of rate hikes, but they are not at a point where they're going to completely stop. Let's see how Bitcoin has responded. Here in the past few hours, Bitcoin was trading right around 17,100 for quite some time here in the past 24 hours. But as of right now, the bulls are trying to keep that line of support above 16,900. We did wick as low as 16,775, but we have recovered a little bit since then. Taking a look at the 1 minute chart, we can see that there is some hidden bullish divergence. We are kind of getting into a overbought territory, so do with that information what you will. Taking a look at the daily chart, we can see that Bitcoin is breaking out of this descending triangle. Is it a fake out before we break to the downside? Again, time will tell, but I'm not too bullish on the market. I think the Federal Reserve is going to potentially do a 75 basis point here in the next week or two, I believe on December 13th or 14th. So something, again, to pay attention to. If they do go through with the 75 basis points, I think the markets will get nuked because a lot of people with Jerome Powell's recent FOMC meeting yesterday, or his little speech, he was giving a lot of investors some dovish signals. So I think a lot of markets are anticipating a 50 base point rate hike. I do see the Federal Reserve doing one last 75 or maybe potentially 100 base point rate hike just to flush everything out. That's not to say they won't do rate hikes going into 23. As this article discussed, they're probably going to continue QT through at least the first half of 2023. And that kind of, not saying it's right, but it kind of lines up with our guesstimation that we made about a week or ago, that probably through at least the first half of 2023, the Federal Reserve will keep tightening the belt, so to speak, and then maybe quarter three point they kind of maybe they don't reverse their trend, but maybe they stop rate hikes altogether, and then maybe quarter four of 2023 or quarter one of 2024, maybe we start seeing the Federal Reserve start doing rate cuts. Personally, that would be perfect for me because I'm looking to potentially buy a vehicle sometime in 2024. God, God allowing that my car stays in good condition for the next year and a half or so. Taking a look at the DXY, you guys, we did kind of bottom out here at 104.4 and been this low on the DXY since roughly end of June, which is kind of crazy to think about. Almost half a year we haven't been this low. Again, if DXY does trend upwards, we can see stocks and crypto get smashed. If the reverse is true, then we will see stocks and crypto rally. Julian Figueria said, I spoke about the difference between Bitcoin and cryptocurrency this morning on Yahoo Finance. Time to delineate between these two industries.
In terms of trust, because a lot of crypto and Bitcoin educators who are online, we're seeing their comments filled with a lot of backlash as well. I see you still have your Satoshi t-shirt on this, so it still seems that you're still holding on to this. What is still giving you faith at this point, Julian?
What is giving me faith at this point? Well, I think one of the things that has come out of this that I kind of view from an educator standpoint is that we need to have a very clear delineation between what Bitcoin is and what cryptocurrency is. Bitcoin was invented in 2009. And if you actually look at Satoshi's white paper, the word cryptocurrency and even blockchain don't even appear in it. These are things that were, coined years after, and they've kind of become their own industry in of itself. A lot of people comparing it to kind of the internet bubble back in, the 2000s, where essentially you had a buzzword that was built on top of, and people got millions and billions of dollars of funding to build these, apps, these bridges to nowhere. And then you had the genuine innovations that actually use the technology. Bitcoin, I see, is like the TCP IP, which a lot of people don't even know. It's the backbone of the internet itself. And the way that I see Bitcoin moving is it is going to be around long past you and I. It's going to be churning out block after block, years and decades after we're, dead in the ground. This is a protocol that was built to last forever in permanence. It's a digital money for the entire world, and we need to kind of coalesce and start to understand how that is separate from the rest of the cryptocurrency industry, which is a whole lot of grift and Ponzi schemes.
Good explanation, Julian. Bitcoin halving rally on every halving period. Historically, the rally started at 14 to 18 months before halving month. Next estimated halving is on March 2024. Last candle was sitting at 60 months before next halving. That could be the beginning of the coming rally. Again, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to spread FUD, you guys, but we are completely in a different position economic wise than we were in previous cycles. So I don't see this playing out. I could see maybe Bitcoin rallying considerably maybe in quarter three or quarter four of 2023, some 9 to 12 months ahead of the Bitcoin halving month, but I don't see it doing this personally. That's not to say we can't have a mini Santa rally. Maybe we break to the upside and try and go past 18K, but ultimately get rejected. That's not to say that can't happen, but I think the likelihood of this playing out is not too likely, but not financial advice. 1 year ago, someone destroyed a diamond and minted an NFT. To see how much of the destroyed diamond's value the NFT would retain. Here's the answer: retained a whole whopping 0.0046 ETH. Destroyed diamond was bought for $5,000. NFT was bought for 5.5125 wrapped ETH. on September 11th of 2021. The current best offer is $559. That's a 99.88% decrease in the original diamond price and 99.99% decrease in the first price first paid for the NFT. Yeah, I don't really understand NFTs. I'm not exactly sure why you would destroy an actual diamond and make it an NFT. Sounds like a stupid clown move, but what do I know? Stripe enables fiat on ramp to Bitcoin and crypto. Very cool to see Stripe developing even during the bear market. Anchor being exploited. Attacker minted over $4 billion worth of wrapped BNB. Pretty concerning. We're talking $4 billion, affecting the market cap of Binance Coin potentially. If you know anything about Binance Coin has about 10 to 12, or no, sorry, 12 to like 13 times this market cap of 4 billion. Could this create problems for Binance Coin? I'm not exactly sure, but something we want to pay attention to. CZ from Binance has possible hacks on Anchor and Hey. Initial analysis is developer private key was hacked, and the hacker updated the smart contract to a more malicious one. Binance paused withdrawals a few hours ago, also froze about $3 million that hackers moved to our centralized exchange. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, they stopped withdrawals for a few hours. We'll see what develops of this. We'll cover more of it as the story develops. Apple has blocked Coinbase's coin. Newest app update to send NFTs on Coinbase Wallet. I heard that it's because Apple wanted to make 30% of the fees. Coinbase Wallet says that Apple's claim is that the gas fees required to send NFTs need to be paid through their in-app purchase system so they can collect 30% of the gas fee. Coin Bureau says, imagine being the most valuable company in the world, but not hiring someone who understands how blockchain works. Yeah, funny how that works, right, guy? It appears that Jump are selling their $2 million ETH bag right now. The current rate of 20,000 ETH per week. It's automated. Look at the timestamps. It'll take them about 2 years to get rid of all of it. Why is exactly Jump unloading their bags of ETH? Do they know something we don't know? Who knows? I've seen some weird things today. They just keep coming. This is my first time seeing a .eth guy call ETH a scam. Forget about FTX. ETH is the biggest scam in crypto. Ultrasound money, and kind of like the when SpongeBob's doing that mocking bird. Yeah, I'm not crazy about ETH, you guys. I whether it's a scam or not, I'm not exactly sure, but I don't like their whole premises of supporting OFAC, which is basically censorship. They can censor what they want and where they want, how they want, essentially, as long as they have over 50% of the vote on Ethereum blockchain. So, not about that. After the dust settles, they're going to try and borrow your Bitcoin again. Tell you it's different because DeFi built on Bitcoin, proof of reserve / liability / solvency, low risk yield. Say anything to get their hands on your Bitcoin. Don't fall for it. Keep it in cold storage. Keep your crypto assets safe. We're going to win. #Bitcoin. Here we have Ron Paul showing young libertarians the way, and now these young libertarians are Bitcoiners, and they're walking alongside Ron Paul as he ages. Why the ECB attack on Bitcoin is 2022's most bullish event. Until now, central banks like the ECB or the European Central Bank have only attacked Bitcoin through their derivative products. If you recall, essentially we had banks like JP Morgan, Chase, Wells Fargo fudding the crap out of Bitcoin, how saying it's this, it's that, it's a Ponzi scheme, blah blah blah. Lo and behold, they more or less gave up on that rhetoric and were buying up Bitcoin while prices were low, and now they're offering Bitcoin and other crypto custodial services to their clients, which is a big slap in the face to the ECB, because ECB more or less controls those banks. It sounds like the ECB, along with other central banks, are getting relatively desperate in their attempt to dethrone Bitcoin. They see the writing on the wall. We have Congress people here in the United States advocating Fidelity to not allow Bitcoin to be purchased on their platform and their app, etc. Asset management companies see the demand like Fidelity, so if there's demand in retail, they're gonna provide it. They're gonna provide some services, and governments and central banks are uh, growing pretty tired of this, and they're getting desperate. That's why you have central bank from Europe lashing out at Bitcoin, saying it's on the road to irrelevancy. Deep Bitcoin value, you don't need to look at much more than long-term holder profit and loss here to see where we are at historically in rare deep value region. Essentially, we're kind of at a capitulation phase for Bitcoin. Uh, Typically speaking, historically speaking, it's a pretty good time to buy right now. I'm holding off because I think once the dust settles here in the crypto space, I think we are bound to go a bit lower. How low, I don't know, but I definitely want to keep stacking some cash for the event that we do go a few $1,000s lower. Watch SBF
went
absolutely
bankrupt is
squirm when pressed on
because
stealing FTX customer
FTX
funds.
deposits
Yep.
were used to pay Alameda's creditors.
Notice how, like, I've watched this clip a few times, but notice how he doesn't look at the camera very often. It's like he's hiding something. When you're not looking up, when you're just like looking down all the time, it's because you're hiding something. You're probably lying.
Carolyn Ellison said you knew about that. Is that true?
Best I can tell, Alameda did have a big position open on FTX. That position, I think, was very over collateralized a year ago. There was a total market collapse, and specifically a large correlated collapse in its assets, over the last month, and to some extent over the last year, that threatened that position quite a bit. And I think that's, as best I understand, a lot of what happened then.
I am no cryptocurrency expert. I'm no finance expert, but I don't think you answered my question.
Yeah,
I was
correct.
asking, did you know that FTX deposits were used to pay off Alameda creditors?
I don't know of FTX deposits being used to pay off Alameda creditors. Are you?
That's not the right answer, Sam. I personally think this man right here is better behind bars than out in public, because I'm gonna tell you, this man stole people's life savings. This person stole tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars from some people, and these people are very angry. So if they see him on the street, I wouldn't be surprised if they offed him or something, because personally, I didn't get entangled in this whole debacle. Thankfully, I didn't have any money in there, or at least I pulled it out before uh, FTX went under. But this man is better in custody, than out on the street. That's just my opinion. Here we have the IRS, basically average U.S. citizen saying, "I'm just trying to run a small business." IRS will monitor your transactions over $600. FTX says we scammed customers out of billions of dollars. IRS just like, I don't know, whatever, not my problem. Here's some more hypocrisy from the establishment. AOC, Ilhan Omar, Ro Khanna, Jamal Bowman, and Cory Bush all voted to impose the contract that rail workers rejected. If the 7 sick day resolution fails in the Senate, they'll have done exactly what Joe Biden did, betrayed workers in favor of the bosses. So if you guys aren't aware, rail workers are on strike right now, essentially trying to get a 7 sick day resolution, essentially allowing them to take a week or two off from work in the form of sick days with pay. And surprise to nobody, these progressives didn't vote how they claim they vote, which is supporting workers' rights and stuff. They're supposed to be progressives, but turns out they're nothing like that. They could care less about the workers, and that's why they voted against it. Here we have the squad is 2 for 2 today, coming from Dr. Jill Stein, candidate for 2016 out of the Green Party. She says, selling out all rail workers and voting for a guy who supports the super PAC targeting progressives for speaker without a word of objection, exceeding even the worst expectations of non believers like me. Here she kind of explains what's going on.
And now these same progressive leaders that all of the progressives gave your last $2 to, your last $5, crying in the stands, singing as if they were the next coming of Christ, they are sitting back and saying absolutely nothing. This is the time to see who is the real leadership on the left. So shout out to Hakeem Jeffries for, let me use the words of Rick Ross, he is the biggest boss thus far. He is absolutely going for the leadership, and nobody is saying anything at all, and they will not say anything at all. That includes Bernard and everybody that rides with Bernard. The progressives are showing, once again, a lack of leadership. And I know they'll say that, oh, we're being strategic. But what I have come to realize that to them, strategic means being silent.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
you've all
it's
been
disgusting.
alluding to this.
The squad, you guys, these people aren't your friends. Stop thinking they are. They don't represent you. They don't care about the working class, regardless of what they say on TV. It's disgusting. Remember when Democrats invited Russians into Congress? This is back in 1992, I believe, after the dissolving of the Soviet Union. Now Democrats are hell bent on Russia. They're hell bent on convicting people in our own government with colluding with Russia and stuff like that. Quite the fall. Here we have free Julian Assange, the war criminals. A lot of these people, this guy was given a Nobel Peace Prize, but he actually drone striked more people than this guy. This guy actually deported more illegal immigrants than both of these guys combined. Just put that into perspective. And this guy was actually exposing all their war crimes. But guess what? He's being attacked by multiple governments around the world. They want his head on a spike. They want him in prison for life. Isn't that weird how that all works? A list of many successful U.S. coups and political interventions. Just a reminder that a lot of these actually happened within our lifetime. If we fast forward to our time frame, have the invasion of Sudan back in 1998, Yugoslavia in 99, Afghanistan in 2001, 2003 over in Iraq, 2011 in Libya, 2011 Syria, 2015 in Yemen, 2018 in Syria. Crazy. It's a never-ending cycle. It's because assholes like this get away with it because a lot of people just turn the cheek. They don't care. They don't give a shit. They think nothing will come out of them being enraged from it. It's like, well, if collectively we call out the bullshit, there's going to be a bit less bullshit, especially if we take action. But people are still divided among party lines, so things are probably not going to change anytime soon. Janet Yellen argued the administration managed the COVID-19 pandemic so well that consumers felt comfortable to splurge goods. So you see, it's all your fault, not the Federal Reserve, not the politicians, not Janet Yellen's fault. You messed up because the Biden administration managed this pandemic so well that you just happened to get stimmy checks. And now you're the bad guy because you use the stimmy checks. It's like, how about the money printers the issue here, not me? the fact that you guys just felt the need to print our currency into oblivion, devaluing it by over 30%. It's like, come on, you guys. U.S. Energy Department wants to put a halt to mandatory oil reserve sales. Too late, I can hear the empty sucking sound. So could we potentially see gas prices hurtling upwards here in the near to soon future? I certainly hope not. I'm finally getting kind of content with where gas prices are. I can fill up my tank for about $40 to $45. It's not too bad. Not as good as back in 2020 when I was filling up as low as I think like $30, $35, but getting close. If gas goes back up to $5, $6, my tank of gas is gonna be like $60 to $80 to fill up. So not good. In 2020, a randomized controlled trial from Denmark conclusively showed that masks didn't work. Now another one from 2021 through 2022 confirmed higher quality masks also make no difference. Anyone still claiming masks provide protection against COVID is unquestionably a science denier. Like we discussed, not even N95 masks work to stop COVID. So what's the whole get up of making people wear masks? Leaked video, world misled by falsified data. Turns out Israel had no effective monitoring system for adverse reactions to the COVID vaccine in 2021. The world relied on their data to guide vaccine policy, including mandates. Isn't that interesting that the world relied on their data? And is it interesting? I'm not supporting this man, but isn't it interesting that he got deplatformed yesterday off of Twitter once again for supposedly inciting violence with what he was saying? I haven't watched Alex Jones clips, so I need to hear with my own ears to condemn Ye for what he said. But either way, whether you like what he has to say or not, it's kind of interesting that Israel was relied on for data, basically for regarding mandates for the whole world. Why is that? Why are they, the pinnacle? Like, why are they the ultimate truth? Why can no one else provide that data? Why does it have to come from Israel? I don't know. Kind of weird. Athletes want accountability for an old picture of Jerry Jones from 1956, but not the psychotic lockdowns and COVID restrictions that robbed us of 2 years of normal life. Not trying to be edgy here. I just don't understand people's priorities. Me Too anomaly. No lockdowns. Dox them. Fire them. Jail them. These are protesters here in Canada and the U.S. Meanwhile, these same people that are like dox them, fire them, jail them, they say brave freedom fighters when they see protesters in China against mandates and lockdowns. Weird double standard. Here we have the PM of Britain basically saying instead of listening to their people's protests, the Chinese government has chosen to crack down further. And 2 days later, can't make this up, he's saying the government is giving the police new powers to allow them to clamp down on illegal protests. Saying the quiet part out loud. Yeah, we're just as bad as China. That's why we're going to give the police more powers, new powers to clamp down on illegal protests. Nothing speaks freedom more than that. New Prime Minister of Italy is coming out against CBDC. She's saying cash must be king. Giorgia Meloni tells shoppers. What's it called? She claims that card payments are not legal currency, but private money. I agree with her stance, but the reality is, to my knowledge, I believe her and this gentleman, along with Macron from France, Merkel from Germany, Justin Trudeau, they were all members of the World Economic Forum. Again, isn't it weird that, we have President Joe Biden just earlier this year saying the pandemic's over, we can get on with our lives. Now he's extending the medical health emergency regarding COVID. And now we have LA County mulling indoor mask mandate due to rise in COVID cases. It's like clown world all over again. Here's the puppet master. He also is buddies with Zelensky, so everything you need to know is settled right there. Dutch farmers have started protesting. Sorry, I don't know why it's so staticky. Dutch farmers have started protesting again today and were immediately hunted down and disbanded by the police and riot squads. This is what liberal democracy looks like under Prime Minister Mark Rutte. See, they're hauling him off in the police van because they don't like that he's protesting. They don't like that he's disrupting, the government's agenda. It's disgusting. And isn't it interesting that in the Netherlands, a group of institutional investors are planning the construction of Tri-State City, a megapolis with a population of around 45 million extending across Netherlands, Germany, and Belgium. For this to happen, they obviously need to buy up a lot of farmland. Isn't that an interesting coincidence? And all these farmers are now losing their land to what? Institutional investors. It's not about the climate. It's not about the environment. It's not about your safety. It's not about what's best for the world. It's all about them getting their agenda through. It's really disgusting that no one is calling this out, and no one on mainstream media is calling this shit out. Leave you guys with this. Clown World 2.0. Today, HHS announced it will adopt the WHO's new preferred term Mpox instead of monkeypox disease, and it will use it from now on to avoid stigma around this disease and further promote access to quality care. I don't know how there's stigma around it. It's like literally, to my knowledge, most people that are getting it, I'm sorry, but are not straight. But I don't know. I watch YouTube flag that as misinformation or some shit. I'm just waiting for it. Anyways, that does it for today's stream, you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, found it informative, useful in any way, shape, or form. Please like and subscribe and notification bell to be notified when I go live next. I will see you guys all Monday morning, 9:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. Until then,